It is my honor and my pleasure to share my gifts and teachings with the municipality. It has been a dream of mine for several years to be able to provide services for the frontline workers. This has been a mission of mine for several years, to share and be of service to the community. So I'm really excited about the journey that we're going to go on today for the next hour. A little bit about myself. My training and background actually comes from the high performance sporting community. I was a gymnastics coach for 25 years and taught right from babies right up to high performance athletes, and have produced national champions for Canada. Out of Calgary, Alberta was where my gym clubs originated from. And that's what I thought I was actually going to be doing for the rest of my life. However, as we are experiencing what's happening right now in our world, sometimes our plans shift and things happen, and we have to navigate those traumatic spaces. And in 2007, I had a minor traumatic brain injury. Teaching skating lessons to 4-year-olds, fell on the back of my head, did the traditional banana peel slip, and ended up in bed for 3 months, and it took years to heal and come out of that space. Through that trauma, it changed my life in a good way. It opened up my spiritual connection and took me in a completely different direction. I ended up leaving high performance sport and went into life coaching and transformational work, which led me to finding the teachers that I've been working with for the past 4 years. Many of you might have heard of the book, The 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. Those are my teachers that I have been traveling with and working with for the past few years. And it's their knowledge and their teachings that I'm going to be sharing with you guys today, mixed in with probably some of the stuff from the gym world as well. I have a loose framework, and we're just going to see where we go. I am really excited to be here and to share these gifts and tools with you. The Toltecs really work on the mastery of awareness. And so that's what I'm going to be sharing with you guys today, really working on the wellness aspect and bringing in some tools to how we navigate this time and space that we're in right now. Because goodness knows we need to fill our toolbox with as much as we can right now, because we're going to need them. What would I like you to experience? We're going to be going through a couple of different things in the next hour. I'm going to be sharing some educational material, and we're going to do some exercises and some meditations. So if you haven't already, please make sure you have a pen, a notebook, water, maybe a blanket, whatever's going to make you comfortable for what we're about to dive into. It's some good meaty stuff, so I really hope to keep you engaged, and so keep yourself comfortable. And I guess the great thing about doing this kind of platform is you can press pause at any time, and I encourage you to do that. You may have some baseball bat, bright light aha moments while we go through some of this work. And if you need to have a pause to think, do that. It's going to be really interesting to see what comes up for you guys. The first thing we're going to do is just drop into the space so that you are comfortable and your mind is free to be open and explore the information that I'm going to be giving you. So I'd like you to go ahead and get comfortable. Find a nice comfy space for your body, whether it's laying down or sitting in your chair. Just make sure you're warm and comfortable. So I'm going to give you a minute. You could press pause if you need to. Make sure you have all your stuff and get ready to do a meditation. So go ahead and get ready now. And now that we're all settled in, breath is one of the best ways to recenter yourself. It is what brings us life force. So we're just going to settle in, and I really want you to focus on your breath. So go ahead and close your eyes. Get nice and comfy. And bring your awareness inwards and focus on your breath. With the little kids at the gym, I would tell them to count. Breathe in for 4, hold, and out for 10. So I'll coach you through 2, and then I want you to just pick up where I'm leaving off and find your own comfortable rhythm. So go ahead and breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4, hold, and out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. In. 1, 2, 3, 4, hold. And out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Find your rhythm. Focusing on your breath. In for 4 and out for 10. Asking your heart rate to slow down. Asking your shoulders to drop. Allowing your body to relax. Dropping into this space and time. Breathing in deeper and exhaling longer, asking your heart rate to slow down farther. Keeping your awareness in your chest. Moving your arms around a little bit, maybe rolling your wrists. Checking in with your body and scanning, where do I feel tension? Asking it to release. Allowing yourself to get nice and comfy. Focusing on your breath. And ask yourself, what transition are you in right now? What is transitioning in your life? What are you letting go of? And what are you choosing to step towards? Really breathing that in. What are you choosing to step towards? Taking a nice big deep breath. And bringing your awareness back to here, to this space and time. And I'd like you to pick up your journal and your pen and write that down. Write down what transition you're in. What came to you during the meditation? What's the first thing that popped into your mind? Write that stuff down. What are you letting go of? And what are you stepping towards? And while you finish that up, I'm just going to share a little bit about why I love these teachings so much. Growing up in the sporting community, I have had the pleasure of working with some of the best coaches in the world. The sporting community in Alberta, in the gymnastics community, is very well developed, and in the trampoline and tumbling community, we do very well because we were such a collaborative team. And being able to have people around you that trust and support you is very important. I feel that having these teachings that I'm about to share with you would have even enhanced the community further. They really truly are based on how to navigate fear. And when you look at what gymnasts do, especially trampolinists, we're taking these young children and asking them to put their lives in our hands. And I'm going to throw you upside down. And don't worry, you're not going to die today. It's all good. We got you. It's all good. And when you take that concept, these are life-threatening skills and life-threatening things that we're asking these kids to do, and adults too. And having tools to navigate fear, it's not just athletes that need that. And so as we're walking into this space that we're in right now, space and time, and people that are recovering from trauma, like the frontline workers, there are lots and lots of people that need tools to navigate fear. And I absolutely understood the language immediately. And so I'm hoping that it resonates with you guys as well, because I worked with the municipality for almost 20 years. I know what you do. I've been there. I worked for the city of Calgary and the city of Cranbrook. And I think these tools are really great. And it is all about awareness. And so the big thing is we are going to try to unlock our internal freedom. A lot of our judgments and who we wish we were or how we want to be, they're all external. And so we need to bring it internally. And that's what we're going to be talking about. How do we clear what's in here to make ourselves feel safe and loved? It does not come from the external, it comes from in here. So those are the tools that we're going to be looking at and figuring out how to fall back in love with ourselves, bringing that mindfulness back right here where it belongs. And bringing our energy in, because we spend so much time, especially when we're in service workers, give it all away, give it all away, give it all away. And we have to have energy for ourselves so that we can serve. Because if that's your mission, you know it here. And as I'm speaking it, you're going to resonate with it or not. We are here to be in service. But we have to keep ourselves healthy so that we can be in service. And you can, I'm sure if you've watched little kids or if you can remember being a little child, what do you notice about them? How do they behave? How do they act? They just do everything they just abandon everything and they're just in the moment and creative and vibrant and alive and free. No rules. They don't understand boundaries. They just don't. They come out wild. They're feral. And at some point that shifts. And what is it that shifts that? The Toltecs call it the image of perfection. So you can go ahead and write that down. This concept is called the image of perfection. And we create this image of perfection that we are constantly comparing ourselves to. We decide what we're supposed to look like, and then spend all this time in judgment because we're not that, instead of loving us for who we are right now in this moment. So once we bring awareness to that, then we can start to release our old agreements that no longer serve us. We don't need to beat ourselves up. We don't need to judge ourselves. This image of perfection that we've created, at any time we can shift that. We have the power to do that. That's the key. Do you want to shift it? Or do you want to hold that image of perfection and use it against yourselves over and over again? But where does this image of perfection even come from? How did it even exist in the first place? Just think about that for a minute. Where's it all coming from? How did you decide that you're not good enough? Who told you that? Where did that come from? Have you ever thought about that? For most of us, it's just a common story. It's so common that we probably don't even remember where it came from. But I want you to sit with that for a second. How did we get here? What's the news doing for you right now? What's media doing for you right now? And what has it done for you your entire life? The whole purpose of advertising is to sell us things, right? So it's really easy for them to say, oh, you're going to get the girls if you wear this. If you use this kind of soap, this is what it's going to do for you. You're not good enough unless you have this. If you buy this kind of shampoo, you're going to be loved. And when we talk about it in a position like this, it's hilarious, but we buy in. We've all done it. We've all been there. And we continue to do it. Is it serving us? How is that serving you? Who's noticed the changes? There has been changes. We're starting to see more companies shift into the self-love, honoring other sizes of bodies, starting to go against photoshopping bodies, manipulating images. We're starting to see a movement. It is catching on because people are increasing their awareness. That is the key. Are you aware of what you are allowing into your energy field? Take a second and think about what you are creating awareness of right now in your world. We're not going to label good or bad. We're just creating awareness. In the media, where have you seen changes? What companies are starting to be innovative and starting to change this dialogue? I've already mentioned Dove, right? That is one that is doing it. But come up with 2 or 3 more. Even if you have to hit pause, sit with this for a second and ask yourself, where else am I seeing change? Where the marketing is turning people into self-love and supporting humans instead of making them feel like they're not good enough. What other companies? Where are you seeing that shift? Understanding that the media is only reflecting back to us what we believe. So it's really important to create awareness around what your intent is. And once you spend more time thinking about that kind of stuff, where are the changes? What do I want to see? What am I going to allow into my field? What do I believe? What don't I believe? And challenging it instead of just watching TV and just letting it droll through. Challenging some of the things that you're hearing. Do I believe this? Does this resonate with me? You have that feeling that, you're watching something and you get that pit in your stomach. It's your body talking to you. So when you start creating awareness around that you do have control over these things, what you will allow into your consciousness and what you won't, then you get to this space where, okay, now that I'm paying attention, now what do I do with this information? Because it does get overwhelming because If there was no awareness there before and now there is, where do you start? The next concept that comes in is called the map story. In order to create change, we have to first be honest with ourselves. This is going to be one of your most important tools. If you don't know where you are on your map, you cannot create movement in a positive direction. There's movement, but you need to find that anchor. Way back in the old days when we had actual paper maps, if you put that out, you know all the lines that come on a map, right? The very first thing that you need to do when you're lost is find out where you are, right? So then once you place that dot where you are, then you get to decide, where do I want to go? The only way you can place that dot on your map is if you are brutally honest with yourself about where you're at. How are you thinking? How are you feeling? Where's your energy levels? Are you triggered? What are some of the agreements that you've made? Creating awareness and really being honest with yourself. Where are you? And with what's happening in the world right now, we've got some time. We've got some time to ask ourselves these questions. And we have time to redesign. And we have time to really look at our map and decide, where are we? Where is the dot on our map? And where are we going? Now, we also know that if we put our dot here and we decide we want to go over here, we live in the mountains. Are we going to, as the crow flies, get to that dot? Probably not. It doesn't matter how long it's going to take, as long as you know where you're trying to get to. You might go through some detours. We might have some landslides. We might have some stuff go down because, let's face it, we are humans after all, and things happen, period. So yes, we can decide where we want to go. We don't always have control over how we're going to get there. But we start by placing that dot. That's where we start. So now that you've placed your dot, we're going to talk about agreements and how we navigate them. Because we all know that humans are very good at beating themselves up. Nobody can beat us up as good as we can beat ourselves up. Because we know all of our secrets. Nobody knows us better than we know ourselves. How many of you spend tons of time beating the crap out of yourselves? You are not alone. You're not. But there are ways that you can navigate that and retrain yourself so that you don't have to live your lives that way. So we create some awareness around agreements. So we have unconscious and conscious agreements. An example. You chose to come and sit on this webinar and listen to me speak. You hit play. That was a conscious agreement you made. You signed your contract to come to work, signed a contract, consciously used a pen. That's a conscious agreement. Who you choose to live with, the car you choose to buy, the clothes you choose to wear. Conscious agreements. When you say yes, you are making a conscious agreement. whether you are conscious of it or not, when you say yes, that's a conscious agreement. An unconscious agreement drives most of our actions. And is usually there is some emotional energy attached to our past. The easiest way to explain unconscious agreements is by examples. So one of my favorite ones, and this happened in my world, and if you were a parent, chances are it happened in yours. Growing up in Calgary, driving the Deerfoot, and kids are screaming in the back seat, singing at the top of their lungs, especially those who have young musicians. They're just doing their thing and having a great time singing away. You're driving on the highway, you're trying to switch lanes, it's rush hour. The stress level of that, 3 lanes of traffic, they're singing at the top of their voice, just stop singing, I'm trying to drive, right? As a parent, you are literally trying to keep your family safe and avoid accidents. It's not that you don't want to hear your kids sing, but what are they hearing? What are they hearing when you yell at them to be quiet or shut up, depending on how heightened you are at the time, right? They hear, oh, mom thinks I'm not a good singer. I have a terrible voice. I just got yelled at and told to stop singing. They make an unconscious agreement right in that moment that they're terrible singers. Fast forward 2 decades, now they're at the bar with their friends and it's karaoke night. Hey, let's go up and sing. Oh, I can't do that. I'm a horrible singer. Are they? Or did they make an unconscious agreement when they were a child and carried it forward? Here's another example. 2 brothers home at the house, latchkey kids, parents both work. Run around wrestling in the living room, and you know what happens when boys wrestle? Crash! Mom's favorite vase falls on the ground and explodes. Just as she's walking in the door, carrying groceries, she has not made supper and she is late. So what does she see? The boys on top of each other and her favorite vase broken. You can just imagine, I'm sure the scenario, you have been in similar situations. She's freaking out. What happened to the vase? Who broke the vase? Older kid throws the younger kid under the bus. He did it. Little kid gets sent to his room. Go to your room. Deal with you when I'm done. Mom's trying to get dinner ready. The younger son is sitting in his bedroom. What is going through his mind right now? What is he feeling? Put yourself in that position. Mom doesn't love me. I'm the only one that ever gets in trouble. I must be a horrible brother. I must be a horrible son. Mom loves him more. I'm bad. I can't trust my brother. He threw me under the bus. He betrayed me. I'm abandoned. I'm the only one that got sent to my room. Brain loops, right? Mom now has dinner ready. Calls the kids to the table. Everyone sits down. Brings the mashed potatoes over. She serves the older son first. What does the young kid do? He got the mashed potatoes first. Mom obviously loves him more. There's my proof. Because once we've made a decision, now we're going to look for evidence to prove that we are right, because God forbid we're wrong. Humans have to be right. Because if we're not right, if our story isn't what we say it is, then who are we? So now that little guy is looking for evidence. See, mom doesn't love me as much. He got the mashed potatoes first. And the story continues. And it's built. And they continue to look for confirmation to make sure his story's right. I'd like you to take a minute and find a story in your childhood where you can relate to that. And write it down. And what were the brain loops that you were telling yourselves? What was that unconscious agreement that you made? When you start doing this work around unraveling some of your unconscious agreements, it's really important that this is where you bring in love and self-care for yourself. Because there is a time where some of this might become overwhelming when you start connecting pieces. Some of them are just going to go, oh, on it, gone. And some of them will stick and linger. Some of them may even trigger. So I encourage you, when you start unraveling some of these unconscious agreements, to really be gentle on yourself and go slow. And make sure that you have somebody to debrief with. And if you're like me, this really resonated with me, and I got really excited and dove right in and thought, oh, I'm getting rid of all of this. And we're going to go systematically and slow. Don't dive in and just rip everything apart. We call this cleaning the closet. So when you start cleaning your agreements out, you don't want to be like, think about in your room. When you open your closet doors, are you just going to take everything out of your closet and throw it on the bed? How overwhelming is that? I know all I've done is just shoved it all back in and closed the door and went, nope, ain't happening, nope. So one thing at a time. And you might literally go, oh, I don't have the energy to deal with you today. You get to go back in. And that's okay. We're not going to beat ourselves up over what we're going to choose to deal with and what we're not going to choose to deal with. You can only do one thing at a time, and that is okay. Give yourself permission. One thing at a time. And you're allowed to take breaks.